changes.
Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome into the Rockstarflipper YouTube channel. Thanks for joining me. And I want to show you guys just a little snippet, a little review of the first quarter of 2020. It's been a rough one. January, February, March. March was probably the craziest month for all of us. Things started taking that downhill turn during the end of February, which historically in my business, February is always the worst month of the year. It's a short month anyways. We lose at least 1 or 2 days every year out of February. Plus, it tends to be right after Christmas when everyone has spent all their money in their gift cards. So February is like no money left. And then also taxes typically haven't started coming back in until end of February into March. Everyone gets their 1099s by January 31st. Sometime in January, people take a week or two, the filing, the money coming back. So usually February, not much tax money has come in. So that's a bad month too. March normally would start going back up, but with everything going on in 2020, that's not happening. So it is a down year. And so if your target with somebody like me is to do $250,000, $250,000 in gross revenues over the year, out of a 12-month period, you got to do $20,800 a month. And so times 3 months would put me somewhere in the $60,000 to $62,000 range for a 3-month gross. Now that's gross, and I'll give you an idea of the profits in a second, but I'm currently barely at $50,000. And so that is way down. You're talking about a loss of $12,000 over 4 quarters would be almost 50 grand, right? So going from 250 down to 200 as a gross target, I'm gonna have to work my butt off for the rest of the year to hit that $250,000. What kind of profits? Well, most of you guys operate at 50%. So if you were making 50,000 in a quarter, you would make about $25,000 clean and clear profit. Maybe some of you doing a little better, 27, 28, $30,000 profit if you're operating on 20% Poshmark takes, eBay takes, 13, 14, plus your shipping costs and costs of goods. Most of you are coming in at 40% of expenses, 45% expenses. So it wouldn't be unheard of if somebody did 50 grand, all eBay, all Posh, all Amazon, to profit about $27,000, maybe upwards of $30,000 for a quarter, $10,000 a month. Not too bad, right? But because I go off platform, and I sell so many products direct to my customers. I sell so many products through Instagram, directly through my own sites. I do YouTube, which is 100% profit income, affiliate sales, which are 100% profit income, all these other things, my own products, I do all this other stuff. My 55% profit actually moves on up to about 75 or 80% profit. And so when you do that number over 50,000, now you're talking about 35 or 40 grand in profit in a quarter. And now over 4 quarters, you're talking about $150,000 to $175,000 profit target based on the numbers I'm at right now. It should have been over 200,000 in clear profit. We'll get there, we'll have to do it. But I wanna show you guys just a little look at the first quarter to show you exactly how I did it, exactly where you should be adding some streams of income. Awesome, I do it all through QuickBooks. And so I haven't updated everything yet, I'm getting there, but I'll show you some of the numbers. This is the awesome QuickBooks app, which is mobile. You can get it completely on your iPad or your phone. It's Android as well. You guys can see some of the pie charts. They show expenses. They show profit and loss numbers. They show all of your recent entries. You can go over here and you can sort by sales, by expenses, by bank, by vendor, like who you bought from. Let's say you wanna know how much you spent just at the Goodwill next to your house. So you label it Goodwill Home and you could click on vendors and you could sort by all these vendors and you could select them and you can see exactly how much money you spent in an X period of time. Like let's go down here to, Salvation Army, which is kind of near my house, and I can select it and you can edit their address and all of their information. And then you can go through and you can see the exact amount of money that under your expenses that you have done. And you can group it by, you can filter, you can choose the date, timeline. So you can see all of this stuff in QuickBooks. It's fantastic, it's amazing. And if you're not using QuickBooks to, on your phone and your iPad, or on your Android or Samsung tablet or whatever you have, you're crazy. And so a lot of you like GoDaddy, that's fine too. And also the same thing it is on the computer as well. So this is QuickBooks Online Simple Start. They also have like self-employed. You can Google the differences. I'm not going to go through all those differences. Pick the one that's best for you and the price. This one used to cost about $150 to $160 for the year. So you're talking about 13 bucks a month, $12, $13 a month. The price did go up. I think I paid $195 for 2020 for all of this year. I pay once a year. So if you pay monthly, it's like 20 bucks a month. You pay $240. But if you pay for the year, they give you like a month or two for free. So I think I paid, so it's $19.99 a month is what I think the standard is. So times 12 months is $239.88, and then you times that by 80%, I think you get 2 months for free. So it's like $191.90 is what I paid for the whole year. So just in case you're interested, but you get full access on the computer. You also get access on your phone. You can have employees. You can put all your information in. Now I manually input a lot of this. I don't import stuff because I always find mistakes in GoDaddy, and I find mistakes in QuickBooks as well. Not to knock it, but none of these softwares are perfect in the importing. But long story short, I'm going to show you, we're going to go over and screen share. And actually I'll screen share probably on my iPad because it's the easiest. And I'll show you guys exactly some of the sales, some of the numbers, some of the breakdowns. I still have, like I said, some to put in there to close out March. I try to stay pretty active in the current month. I like to know what I've done January, February. I know January and February are closed. I got to finish out March a little bit. Right now it's showing a net income of $34,000 or $33,045. It's actually probably up there around 40 grand. So I got about 7,000 worth of transactions to put in worth of profit. A little bit of expenses, so a little more to add, but let me go over to my screen, show you guys first quarter 2020, how I did over 50,000 in sales and over 40,000 in profit in the first quarter of this insanely crazy year. Okay, so this is kind of the main dashboard of QuickBooks. And again, I have quite a bit to put in here, pretty much most of March, which you'll see in just a second. But the main page here, it has your business name, and that's mine, Worldwide Sales LLC. Those of you that don't know, that's my company name. Profit and loss, $33,045, and you can see it's this year, and you can change that to the last 30 days, this month, this quarter. If I change it to this month, it's going to show 0 because I haven't actually put anything in for April. I have $82, 100 bucks I put in, something I put in. I just haven't done April at all. If you do this quarter, obviously it's going to show the same, but if you do last quarter, it's going to show the first quarter of the month, 32,963. You can do, this year, and we can see $33,045. And so you can change that off and on. You can click to see the profit and loss, and so it shows you, the downward turn from March 1st. You can see that the profit was up around $3,100. Which would put it at like a 12.5 profit for the month. But you can see where I haven't put anything in for March 8th through March, the end of March. So that's why that is how it is. We can go back here to the home screen. It will show you these invoices unpaid and how much you've been paid in the last 30 days. You can see the expenses. If you choose to link your bank accounts, you can see a bank account balance, although it's never really accurate. Again, I've had problems with that. It's not terribly far off, but it's never really accurate. So expenses, $1,492, shipping, commissions, cost of goods sold, subcontractors. I have quite a bit to put in there. Again, I'm going to have to put in quite a bit of sales and quite a bit of expenses. And then on the right, it'll show you your most accurate recent invoices. And so Kate did input stuff for April 3rd, payment added for April 3rd. So there's been some stuff added for April 3rd, but I don't know why it's only showing the sales, because we've added a couple $100 in April for payments, which is kind of odd. You guys can see things like the Facebook group, adding stuff like that. And I'll show you, you can see a detailed report of sales and expenses. You just go to the left and you click on expenses, and it will show you, look, we had United States Postal Service, $11.98. We paid eBay commissions of $10.54 that day. You scroll back, you can see shipping and delivery, commissions and fees, delivery, commissions, all eBay, Postal Service, eBay fees, all the way down. And if you just keep scrolling, you'll eventually get into stuff like expenses where, you paid PayPal, maybe you paid a customer for some merchandise, which I'm sure will be in here as well. As we continue to scroll back, you'll see, all of these expenses. and you could just roll down and see exactly who you've paid, when you paid them. Here's a Salvation Army on Vine Street, paid $22. Poshmark fees, $295. And you can see pretty much everything that you're doing all the way back as far as you need to see it, and you will have a good idea of what you are spending your money on. Goodwill, $21. Salvation Army, $12. Salvation Army, $1. I don't even know how that happened. $7, $22. And so you guys can see everything all the way back and how much it costs until you get to there. And then also on that left-hand page is a list of your customers, which I'm not going to click because I don't want to bring up anybody's private information, but you can keep track of every customer, and that's how it remembers who you paid. And then, of course, we have your sales screen. And this is invoices. You create an invoice and you pay it. And so we've got invoice for eBay sales for $104, for $97, for $87, for $19, for $20, for $27. So these are all eBay sales that have been put in there all throughout March. Tons of items. There's an eBay. There's a Facebook group. So this was me selling the group, $159 worth of that. There's a Shopify sale for $90. More eBay, another Shopify for $214.58 or $214.58. Some more other things. Here's an affiliate sales. This is Two Financial. So this is Mark Two for, you guys know that I am a big supporter of his tax class and for what he does to help people. He's a licensed CPA. And so for this year, he paid me $541.30 for helping him out. That sounds like a big payment. It's $541. But remember, Mark and his services are so important to people that, he does get paid. And so I get a few bucks for shouting people out. There's a payment from Amazon Incorporated for $349.94. List Perfectly. Again, you guys know it's a product that I believe in, I support. It's an affiliate sales, $398.40. And so all of these streams of income coming in. And if we scroll back, there we have a YouTube payment, $3,311. It was pretty good. Now that's February, which means I was paid in January. January ad revenue is very high because of the ad revenue that people pay for during the Christmas season into January is pretty high. So YouTubers tend to make more money there. Again, you guys can see all, Shopify sales, eBay sales, Amazon sales. You guys, if you go back into, other months, you can see all these streams of income just all everywhere. There's a YouTube, again, that's December. You get paid for December and January. So again, $34.92, December's payment, pretty high because of that. And that's just kind of the way that they work it. Amazon for $213, Shopify for $190, the Facebook group for $130, eBay sales for $20. So all of this stuff just adds up, and you can just swipe through and just see everything rolling in. And you can see exactly, where all this money comes from and what you did and how you bought it. And you can choose to click. If you're back here, let's see if I could just choose one of these Shopifys. And it shows you exactly what I sold on Shopify for $35, for $139, and for $27. So on that day, I sold 3 items for $201.94. That's an average of what, like 65 bucks a sale. That was on February 19th of 2020. I typed it in. I sold 150 neckties, 15 men's polos, and 4 pairs of shoes. There's the price. All done. I can go back. And that is how we keep tracking QuickBooks exactly of how much I'm selling, gross profit, everything. So currently it's showing, $34,537 at $33,045. I have about most of March. If you go into my sales, again, no April in there, except for like 1. But if you look through all the sales, you've got only some eBay sales going on through March, but you've got almost none. You've got no YouTube. We've got no no affiliates, no Amazon, there's no Facebook group, there's none of my private sales, there's none of my direct Instagram sales in there, none of that's in there. So there's missing somewhere in the neighborhood of probably 15, maybe 17,000. So that's going to knock that up to about 49 to 51,000, and the profit probably around 40-ish, because, well, once I put in that extra 15,000, it's going to make it about 48,000 in profit, but then I have to pop in a bunch of expenses. And so we're going to be somewhere in the $42,000 range with March closing out. So that puts us at about $14,000 per month. 14 times 3 is 30, 12, 42,000. So we'll be right around 14,000 a month in profit for the first 3 months, which honestly should have been much better. But if we do my handy dandy calculator and we stay on that pace, we'll do $168,000 in profit this year. Clear profit. That's after all the expenses. Now that's pre-tax, of course, right? So that's after, you know, if the IRS docks me at 35%, I don't know what that tax bracket is. It's $58,800 in taxes, but of course, itemized deductions, you know, you can usually cut that in half. And so assuming I can knock that down in half, you know, I hope to get my taxes down around $20,000 to $25,000. And so that would be reasonable for me to pay the IRS. I'd be happy with that. You know, I do get a lot of expenses. Remember, I've got mileage, I've got cell phones, I've got home office, I've got internet, I've got anything I spent on shipping supplies, materials, cost. I've got equipment that I bought, any kind of cameras, lenses, light kits, all deductible. The cost of filing my taxes, the cost of an accountant if I decide to hire one. I've got, you know, a lawyer writing up stuff for different partnerships. I've got my Shopify store fee, which is another $400 a year. I've got all the PayPal, eBay, Shopify store fees, the transaction fees, the USPS shipping labels, my FedEx labels, my UPS labels, all direct through PayPal that I buy for Shopify. That's thousands of dollars. So that's how you get $58,800 down to $20,000, $25,000. People ask, well, if you owe the IRS $50,000, $55,000, $60,000, how do you only get away with paying $20,000, $25,000? Well, that's how. And that's why you hear people say they pay such a less amount. So I'm talking about doing $14,000 in profit times 12 months, meaning I'm going to do a profit of $168, but my gross sales are probably going to be somewhere around, you know, hopefully if that number, what I just say, I'm doing about 52,000 over 3 months. So that's going to be 52,000 divided by 3 months times 12. We're going to be at 208,000 in gross revenue. I hope to be higher, of course, but let's just say I do 210, right? And I only end up paying $21,000 in taxes. Well, that's 10%. Somebody's going to say, well, how do you make 200 grand and only pay 10% taxes? Well, because the tax bracket is 30, 35%, but I get to knock it all the way down with all my expenses. These are all legit expenses that all have receipts for. And that's how you get away with paying 10%. That's how Amazon makes $1 billion, $2 billion, $3 billion in profit and pays zero. Because yeah, while they made $1 billion, they spent like $5 billion building buildings and buying trucks and planes and gas and employees and payroll tax and property taxes. And all this stuff takes their taxes down to nothing. And so that's how they get away with it. It's not that Amazon's being a scumbag or that Amazon's doing something illegal. It's they're using exactly what the government has put in place for people that make money to deduct off of their taxes, expense out, and get it down to a manageable amount of money. In Amazon's case, they, as a company, pay less money than I'm going to have to pay, and I'm only writing a check for $20,000, $25,000, right? Okay. And so that'll be next year. This year's was a little bit less. So that's how you do it. Hold a quick little accounting, class for you guys. So anyways, that's how I managed to make that kind of money. If you guys are interested, look, I put the classes for you below. I'm not going to ask you or beg you to buy them. If you want help and you want to learn how to resell and do what I do, if you want to learn how to sell on social media, how to get that YouTube money, that affiliate money, the Instagram money, the local money, how to learn, I'm going to be putting together some Shopify how-tos, which is going to be fantastic. I'm going to add that to the package. Anybody who buys it will get the how-to Shopify videos. It's all below. I'll link it, grab it, help yourself, do yourself a favor. Look, a ton of people are unemployed right now, and you never know where this could lead you. I've done in the first quarter what will amount to almost 40,000, if not more, in profit. That's most people's paychecks for the entire year, and I've done it in the first quarter. So if that's what you're interested in, that's what you want to do, please don't hesitate. Grab the package below. You'll thank me later. It's worth every penny. It's a very, very small investment in yourself. It's a one-time payment. And also, guys, don't forget, I've done all of this from home, self-quarantined. None of this changes what I've done. I don't have to go out. I don't have to do any of this. And I can have merchandise shipped to my door and all of the social media activity on the internet, on an iPad, on a phone, on a computer without ever leaving. So keep that in mind when you're deciding whether or not this is for you and whether the changing world that we don't know how it's going to be coming up is going to be coming up. So make sure you take advantage of it, guys. It's linked below. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.